Eshan lunged forward and grabbed desperately for the clay pot, but his fingers caught nothing. The pot slipped from his hands. Crash! It smashed against the hard ground, and milk poured across the dusty road of Rangpur Market. Eshan froze. His eyes widened as he stared at the white liquid disappearing into the dirt. No! He dropped to his knees. No, no, no. He grabbed the broken pieces and tried to push the milk back together with his trembling hands. Please. His voice cracked. Please, just come back. But the milk was already gone. A few merchants looked at him. Some shook their heads. Others continued with their business. Eshan barely noticed them. All he could hear was his mother's voice from that morning. Be careful, Eshan. We need every drop. He closed his eyes. I promised her. His chest tightened. What am I going to tell Ma? Just a few hours earlier, Eshan had left his small home in Devpura feeling proud. Now he was sitting beside a shattered pot, convinced that he had destroyed the one thing his mother was counting on. But Eshan's story had started long before that terrible moment. He lived with his mother, Lalita, in a small house at the edge of Devpura. They didn't have much. Their roof leaked whenever the rain became heavy. Their kitchen had only a few utensils, and some nights their meals were so small that Eshan pretended he wasn't hungry, just so his mother would eat more. Lalita always noticed. You're not hungry again? She would ask. Eshan would smile. I ate earlier. You're lying. No, I'm not. Eshan. He would sigh. Fine. I'm hungry. Lalita would laugh softly and push food toward him. Then eat. One day, when you become a rich man, you can buy all the food you want. Eshan would grin. When I'm rich, I'm buying you the biggest house in Devpura. The biggest. The biggest. And what will you do with such a big house? Nothing. Nothing. I'll just make sure you never have to work again. Lalita would look at him quietly. Those words meant more to her than Eshan understood. She had raised him alone since his father died. She had worked through exhaustion, hunger, and grief because she wanted her son to have a chance at something better. Their only dependable source of income was an old buffalo named Moti. Moti wasn't fast. She wasn't strong anymore. But every morning, she gave them milk. And that milk kept them going. Eshan loved Moti almost as much as he loved his mother. Good morning, old girl, he would say while feeding her. Lalita would shake her head. You speak to that buffalo like she's your sister. She understands me. She understands nothing. Eshan would laugh. She understands more than you think. One morning, after milking Moti, Lalita filled a large clay pot. She carefully covered it. Then she turned toward Eshan. Today, I need you to take this to Rangpur Market. Eshan looked surprised. Me? Yes, you. I can do it. I know you can. She handed him the pot. We need the money for rice and oil. If you sell all of it, come straight home. Eshan held the pot firmly. I won't waste a single drop. Lalita smiled. That's my boy. He started walking away, then turned around. Ma, yes. When I sell it, can I keep a little? Lalita raised an eyebrow. Keep a little for what? Eshan smiled sheepishly. I saw a blue shirt yesterday. Lalita laughed. So that's what this is about. I've wanted one for months. Eshan, we need food first. I know. Then we'll see. His face brightened. You mean maybe? Maybe. Eshan grinned. Thank you, Ma. Don't thank me yet. Go sell the milk first. I will. He walked toward Rangpur Market with the clay pot balanced carefully in his hands. At first, he was completely focused. But as he entered the marketplace, everything became distracting. Merchants shouted prices. Customers bargained. Children ran between stalls. Eshan spotted the blue shirt. He slowed down. It looked exactly like the one he had imagined wearing. He smiled. Maybe today. Then he smelled freshly made sweets. His stomach growled. He laughed quietly. Maybe I'll buy one for Ma too. He continued walking, still thinking about the shirt. Then a goat suddenly crossed his path. Eshan stepped aside. His foot landed on a loose stone. He stumbled. The pot tilted. Whoa! He reached for it. Too late. The pot fell. Crash. And everything changed. The sound of breaking clay echoed through the market. Eshan fell to his knees. Milk spread across the road. The blue shirt was forgotten. The sweets were forgotten. His dreams were forgotten. All he could see was the milk. And all he could hear was his mother's voice. We need every drop. Eshan swallowed hard. I promised her. A merchant nearby looked at him. Are you hurt, boy? Eshan shook his head. No. He stared at the milk. My mother. The merchant glanced at the broken pot. It was an accident. Eshan looked up. Then his expression became serious. You cannot collect spilled milk, but you can collect the courage to stand again. Eshan looked at the broken pot. Then he looked toward the busy market. Something inside him changed. He stood. Where do I start? Haridas pointed toward a grain merchant. Start there. Eshan walked over. Sir. The merchant looked at him. What do you want? I need work. The man laughed. Work? Yes. You're just a boy. I can carry things. The merchant shook his head. I don't need anyone. Eshan turned away. He approached another stall. Sir, do you need help? No. Another. Can I carry those baskets? Go away. Another. Please, I need work. The merchant looked at him. I said no. Eshan's shoulders dropped. For a moment, the sadness returned. Then he remembered Haridas. You can collect the courage to stand again. Eshan took a deep breath. He walked to a vegetable seller. Sir, please, give me anything to do. The man looked at him for a few seconds. You see those baskets? Yes. Move them to the back. I'll do it. Eshan grabbed the first basket. It was heavier than he expected. His arms shook, but he carried it. Then another. Then another. The merchant watched. You're working hard. Eshan wiped sweat from his forehead. I have to. Why? Eshan looked at him. Because I made a mistake. The merchant paused. Then he nodded. Keep working. By late afternoon, Eshan had earned a few coins. It wasn't much, but when he looked at them in his palm, he felt something he hadn't felt since the accident. Hope. He found Haridas before leaving. Look. Haridas examined the coins. That's all. Eshan smiled. Yes. Haridas smiled back. Then today, that's enough. Eshan looked toward the road home. I still don't know what my mother will say. You'll find out. What if she's angry? She might be. Eshan swallowed. What if she hates me? Haridas shook his head. A mother who loves her child may be disappointed by his mistake, but that does not mean she stops loving him. Eshan nodded. Then he started walking home. When he reached Devpura, the sun was already setting. Lalita was standing outside their house. The moment she saw him, she knew something was wrong. Eshan. He stopped. Yes, Ma. Where is the milk? Eshan's eyes filled with tears. Lalita walked toward him. What happened? He opened his hand. A few coins rested in his palm. I lost the milk. Lalita stared at him. Then Eshan told her everything. The stone, the fall, the broken pot, the milk, the crying, and finally, the work he had done at the market. When he finished, he lowered his head. I'm sorry, Ma. Lalita didn't speak. Eshan's voice trembled. I know we needed that money. Still nothing. I'm sorry. Then Lalita pulled him into her arms. Eshan broke down. I thought you would be angry. I am hurt, she whispered. But I'm not angry with you. I wasted everything. No. She held his face in her hands. You made a mistake. But the milk is gone. Yes. I can't bring it back. No. Eshan cried. So what do I do now? Lalita wiped his tears. You already did something. What? You stood back up. Eshan stared at her. She smiled through her own tears. I'm proud of you. That night, Eshan couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the broken pot, but he no longer saw it only as a symbol of failure. He saw it as the day he learned something. The next morning, he returned to Rangpur Market. Then he returned the day after that. And the day after that, he worked whenever he could. He carried sacks. He cleaned stalls. He delivered goods. He learned how merchants negotiated. He watched how customers were treated. He saved every coin. Years later, Eshan became the successful merchant he had once dreamed of becoming. But he never forgot the day he spilled his mother's milk. And one afternoon, that memory returned in a way he never expected. A young boy working in Eshan's shop accidentally knocked over a container. Crash. The boy froze. He looked at Eshan with terror. I'm sorry. Eshan stared at the broken container. For a moment, he was no longer a successful merchant. He was that frightened boy sitting beside a shattered clay pot. The boy began crying. Please don't send me away. Eshan walked toward him. Are you hurt? The boy shook his head. No. Then look at me. The boy slowly raised his eyes. Eshan smiled. What's done is done. But I ruined it. Yes. I don't know what to do. Eshan placed a hand on his shoulder. Then ask yourself one question. What question? What can I do now? The boy wiped his tears. Eshan smiled. Good. Now let's figure it out. And in that moment, Eshan understood something. The greatest thing he had gained from losing that milk wasn't money. It wasn't success. It was the ability to stand back up when life knocked him down. Because sometimes, life will take something from you. Sometimes you will make the mistake yourself. Sometimes a dream will fall apart right in front of your eyes. And when that happens, you may feel like Eshan once did. You may sit beside the broken pieces and wonder how you will ever recover. But remember this: you cannot put spilled milk back into the pot. You cannot undo yesterday. You cannot rewrite the moment that already happened. But you can choose what happens next. You can stand. You can work. You can learn. You can try again. And sometimes, the mistake you thought would destroy your future becomes the very lesson that builds it. If Eshan's journey touched your heart, take a moment to like this video, because it helps this story reach someone who may need its message today. And if you've ever experienced a setback and somehow found the strength to start again, leave a comment below and tell us what happened. Your story might give someone else the courage to keep going. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories about courage, hope, resilience, and the lessons that can change a life. Because when life knocks you down, remember Eshan. The milk may be gone, the pot may be broken, but your story is not over.